How are you guys doing? Today is Wednesday, May 5th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. And really quickly, looking just to start off in the NBA, taking it game by game, starting off in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers hosted the Phoenix Suns, and in this matchup, the Suns were able to outscore the Cavaliers 20-4 in overtime to beat them 134-118 to pick up their 47th win of the season. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, their leading scorer was their starting small forward, their first round draft pick, Isaac Okoro, who would finish with 32 points and 6 rebounds in 47 minutes as he shot 10 for 16 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line. Their starting point guard, Colin Sexton out of Alabama, would finish with 29 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 turnovers in 39 minutes as he shot 11 for 24 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the foul line. For the Phoenix Suns, their leading scorer would be their elite starting shooting guard, Devin Booker, who finished with 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in 40 minutes as he shot 14 for 27 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, Chris Paul, would finish with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 16 assists, as well as 4 steals and a couple of blocks in 36 minutes as he shot 8 for 16 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. And their elite their starting small forward, Mikal Bridges, would finish with 22 points and 5 rebounds, as well as 3 steals and 3 blocks in 40 minutes, as he shot 9 for 15 from the field and 4 for 6 from 3. With this win, the Phoenix Suns are now 47-18, and with this loss, the Cleveland Cavaliers are now 21-44. Jumping out to Detroit, the Detroit Pistons hosted the Charlotte Hornets, and in this matchup, the Hornets would beat the Pistons 102-99 to pick up their 32nd win of the season after they went on to outscore the Pistons by 4 in the first half. For the Pistons, their leading scorer would end up being their starting shooting guard, Hamidou Diallo, who finished with 35 points and 7 rebounds in 40 minutes as he shot 14 for 22 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and 3 for 6 from the foul line. And then their starting small forward, Sekou Doumbouya, he would finish with 20 points and 8 rebounds in 34 minutes as he shot 9 for 15 from the field and 2 for 5 from 3. For the Charlotte Hornets, their leading scorer would end up being their elite starting point guard, LaMelo Ball, who finished with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a couple of steals. As the third overall pick, would play 31 minutes. He would shoot 7 for 16 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. With this win, the Charlotte Hornets are now 32-33, and with this loss, the Detroit Pistons are now 19-47 on the season thus far. Jumping out to Milwaukee, the Bucks would host the Brooklyn Nets, and they would pull off a 124-118 win after outscoring the Nets by 8 points in the fourth quarter to come from behind and pick up their 41st win of the season. For the Nets in this matchup, their leading scorer would be their elite starting point guard, Kyrie Irving, who finished with 38 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in 39 minutes as he shot 14 for 25 from the field, 6 for 12 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Their goated starting power forward, Kevin Durant, would finish with 32 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and a couple of blocks in 40 minutes as he shot 11 for 22 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the foul line. Off the bench, their elite power forward, Blake Griffin, would finish with 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in 28 minutes as he shot 3 for 5 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. For the Milwaukee Bucks, their leading scorer will be their elite starting power forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who finished with 36 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 turnovers in 37 minutes, as he shot 11 for 30 from the field, 4 for 12 from 3, and 10 for 12 from the foul line. Alongside him, their former All-Star small forward, Chris Middleton, would finish with 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals in 36 minutes as he shot 9 for 18 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Then their starting point guard, Drew Holiday, would finish with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists in 36 minutes as he shot 8 for 13 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Milwaukee Bucks are now 41-24. With this loss, the Brooklyn Nets are now 43-23 out east. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Heat hosted the Dallas Mavericks as the Mavericks were able to beat the Heat 127-113, winning by 14. After outscoring Miami by 18 points in the second quarter and by 12 in the third, by 30 in the middle two quarters. For the Heat in this matchup, their leading scorer would end up being their starting shooting guard, Duncan Robinson, who finished with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and a couple of steals in 38 minutes, as he shot 6 for 14 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. Off the bench, their point guard, Goran Dragic, would also finish with 19 points, as he also finished with 5 rebounds on the night. He shot, in 27 minutes, he would shoot 5 for 14 from the field and 7 for 8 from the foul line. Their elite starting center, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 11 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, and 2 steals in 30 minutes, as he shot 4 for 10 from the field and 3 for 6 from the foul line. For the Dallas Mavericks in this matchup, their leading scorer would end up being their starting small forward, Tim Hardaway Jr., who finished with 36 points in 33 minutes, shooting 13 for 24 from the field, 10 for 18 from 3 on the night. And then their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic, would finish with 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists and 7 turnovers, as the Slovenian wonder kid would shoot 8 for 15 from the field, 5 for 10 from 3, and 2 for 5 from the foul line in the 30 minutes that he would play. With this win, the Dallas Mavericks are now 37-28, and with this loss, the Miami Heat are now 35-31 on the season. Jumping out to New Orleans, the Pelicans would host the Golden State Warriors. In this matchup, the Pelicans would beat the Warriors 108-103 after outscoring the Warriors by 9 points in the fourth quarter. After coming in trailing by 4, they would win the game by 5. For the Warriors in this matchup, their leading scorer would be their goated starting point guard, Stephen Curry, who finished with 37 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals in 37 minutes, as he shot 13 for 31 from the field, 8 for 20 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. And then their starting small forward, Andrew Wiggins, would finish with 26 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks in 39 minutes, as he shot 10 for 21 from the field, 5 for 10 from 3, and a perfect 1 for 1 from the foul line. For the New Orleans Pelicans, their leading scorer would end up being their starting point guard out of UCLA, Lonzo Ball, who finished with 33 points and 6 rebounds in 34 minutes, as he shot 11 for 23 from the field, 7 for 13 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward out of Duke, Zion Williamson, would finish with 23 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals, alongside 6 turnovers in 37 minutes, as he shot 8 for 17 from the field and 7 for 8 from the foul line. And then their elite starting small forward out of Duke, Brandon Ingram, would finish with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 25 minutes, as he shot 5 for 15 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. With this win, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 30-36 on the season, as the Golden State Warriors are now 33-33. Jumping out to Oklahoma City, the Thunder hosted the Sacramento Kings, and the Kings were able to beat the Thunder 103-99, as the Kings picked up their 28th win of the season. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, for the Sacramento Kings, they were able to outscore the Thunder by 10 points in the first half, and that gave them the momentum they needed to win the game. For the Thunder, their leading scorer would be their starting power forward, Darius Bazley, who finished with 24 points and 11 rebounds in 32 minutes, as he shot 7 for 18 from the field and 7 for 9 from the foul line. For the Sacramento Kings, their leading scorer out of their starting lineup would be their starting shooting guard, Buddy Hield, who finished with 18 points and 11 rebounds in 38 minutes, as he shot 5 for 16 from the field. All 5 of his makes came from 3. He was 5 for 13 from 3 and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. And then off the bench, their guard, Terrence Davis, would finish with 18 points and 5 rebounds of his own. With this win, the Sacramento Kings are now 28-37. With this loss, the Oklahoma City Thunder are now 21-45 on the season. Last but not least, jumping out to Los Angeles, to the Staples Center, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted the Toronto Raptors, and the Clippers were able to pull off a 105-100 win after they were able to outscore the Raptors by 5 points in the fourth quarter to gain their lead and advantage because they outscored the Raptors by 11 points in the second half in total. But in looking out to how the Raptors fared, Their leading scorer was their starting shooting guard, Fred VanVleet, who finished with 27 points and 13 assists, as well as 2 steals in 41 minutes, as VanVleet would shoot 10 for 24 from the field, 5 for 14 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the foul line. And then their elite starting power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals in 42 minutes, as he shot 10 for 24 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line on the night. For the Los Angeles Clippers, their leading scorer, they had 2 players that tied for the team high. Their starting small forward, Marcus Morris Sr., would finish with 22 points and 6 rebounds in 33 minutes, as he shot 8 for 11 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Their elite starting shooting guard, Paul George, would finish with 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists in 35 minutes, as he shot 8 for 16 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Alongside him, their goated starting small forward, Kawhi Leonard, would finish with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists in 33 minutes, as he shot 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. With this win, the Los Angeles Clippers are now 44-22, and with this loss, the Toronto Raptors are now 27-39. That is what the NBA is looking like following all of the matchups from yesterday. Really quickly looking out to see what's going on in the NHL following yesterday's matchups, because the NHL season is kind of coming to a close. But starting off in the East Division, the Buffalo Sabres were able to beat the New York Islanders 4-3 to pick up their 15th win of the season. The New Jersey Devils were able to beat the Boston Bruins 4-3 to pick up their 18th win of the season. And then third game in that division was in Philadelphia, as the Flyers hosted the Penguins, but the Penguins would beat the Flyers 7-3 as Sidney Crosby finished with 2 goals and an assist of his own. Jumping out in the Central Division, the Carolina Hurricanes were able to beat the Chicago Blackhawks 6-3 to pick up their 36th win of the season. And then jumping up north of the border, the Vancouver Canucks hosted the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers were able to beat the Canucks 4-1 to pick up their 32nd win of the season. And right now, that's how the NHL is looking following those matchups. Taking a quick glance at to what's going on in the MLB. Starting off in Chicago, the Cubs hosted the Los Angeles Dodgers and were able to pick up their 13th win of the season. As for the Los Angeles Dodgers, the start and the loss for the first game of this doubleheader will go to Clayton Kershaw, their goated starting pitcher. Clayton Kershaw would pitch the first inning of the game. He would allow 4 earned runs in the 1 inning that he pitched, as he struck out 2 batters. With this loss, Clayton Kershaw is now 4-3 as the starting pitcher for the Dodgers this season. Their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would go 2 for 4 on the day. And then their second baseman, Gavin Lux, would end up going 2 for 3 on the day, as the team was held to 7 hits and only 1 run. For the Chicago Cubs, the start and the win would go to Kyle Hendricks, who pitched the complete game and got the win. He would allow 1 earned run in the 7 innings that he pitched, as he struck out 6 batters on the day. With this win, Kyle Hendricks is now 2-3 in their batting lineup. No one would finish with more than 1 hit, as their third baseman, David Bodie, would end up going 1 for 3 with 3 of the 5 RBIs for Chicago. Their elite right fielder, Chris Bryant, would go 1 for 3 with a run for himself. And then their elite shortstop, Javi Baez, would go 0 for 2 as he finished with a walk and a run on the day for himself. With this win, they carried momentum to their second game, where they were able to beat the Dodgers for the second game of this doubleheader. They won this game 4-3, as 3 of their 4 runs would come in the 8th and 9th innings combined. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, the start would go to Trevor Bauer, their elite starting pitcher. Bauer would allow 1 earned run in 4.1 innings pitched, as he struck out 7 batters on the day. The loss would actually come in relief to their last pitcher that came out, Garrett Cleavinger. Cleavinger would allow 1 run, not earned, in the .1 inning that he pitched, and he is now 0-2 as a relief pitcher for Los Angeles. And their batting lineup, nobody on the team had more than 1 hit. And then for Chicago, in their batting first off, out of their pitching lineup, Keegan Thompson would get the start. Keegan Thompson would pitch 3.2 innings, as he would allow no earned runs. Craig Kimbrell would actually blow the save, his first blown save, but the win would come in relief to Justin Steele. Justin Steele would allow no earned runs in the 1 inning that he pitched. He is now 1-0 as a relief pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. In their batting lineup, the only player that had more than one hit was their shortstop, Eric Sogard. And in this matchup, he would end up going 2 for 3 for himself. With this win, with both of these wins, the Chicago Cubs are now 14-16, and with these losses, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 17-14. There was a second doubleheader in Denver as the Colorado Rockies hosted the San Francisco Giants. In the first game of that doubleheader, the Giants would beat the Rockies 12-4 after they scored 10 runs in the first inning. For the Colorado Rockies, the start and the loss would end up going to German Marquez. He would allow 8 earned runs in the .2 innings that he pitched, as he was only able to strike out one batter. With his loss, he is now 1-3 as a starting pitcher for the Rockies this season. In their batting lineup, their shortstop Trevor Story would go 2 for 3, and then their center fielder Garrett Hampson would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. They were the only 2 players on the team with more than one hit. For the San Francisco Giants, the start would go to Aaron Sanchez. Aaron Sanchez would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4 batters on the day. The win would come in relief to their closer, Matt Wisler. Wisler would allow no earned runs in the 1.2 innings that he pitched. He's now 1-2 as a relief pitcher for San Francisco. In their batting lineup, their first baseman, Brandon Belt, would go 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs as he had his 5th home run of the season yesterday. Their former National League MVP catcher Buster Posey would finish 3 for 4 with an RBI and 3 runs as he hit his 7th home run of the season. Their shortstop Brandon Crawford will go 2 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs as he hit his 5th home run of the season as well. And with this with this win, this would give them a little bit of momentum going into the second game. But in the second game, the Colorado Rockies would beat the Giants 8-6 after scoring 8 of their 6 runs in the 7th inning. Of course, finishing it off with a Charlie Blackmon 3-run home run to win the game. But first off, looking at how the Giants fared, the start will go to Alex Wood. Wood would allow 2 earned runs in the 5 innings that he pitched as he struck out 2 batters. The blown save and the loss will go to Giants relief pitcher Camilo Doval. Doval would allow 2 earned runs, and he was unable to register a single out. In their batting lineup, their second baseman Wilmer Flores would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as Flores hit his 2nd home run of the season. And then their third baseman, former American League MVP Evan Longoria, would go 2 for 3 with a run. And also, their center fielder Steven Duggar would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs on the day. For the Colorado Rockies, the start would end up going to Ryan Castellani. He would allow 2 earned runs into 3.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2 batters on the day. The win would come in relief to the last pitcher that threw for them, Ben Bowden. Ben Bowden would pitch 1.2 innings as he allowed no earned runs on the day. With this win, Bowden is 1-2 as a relief pitcher for Colorado. In their batting lineup, their shortstop Trevor Story would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run in this game. Their second baseman Ryan McMahon would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs as well. Their first baseman CJ Cron will go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run for himself. And with this win, with both these teams picking up a win in the doubleheader, the Colorado Rockies are now 11-19, and the San Francisco Giants are now 18-12. Jumping out to Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds hosted the Chicago White Sox, and the White Sox were able to beat the Reds 9-0 to give Dylan Cease his 2nd win of the season. For the Cincinnati Reds, the start and the loss would end up going to Jeff Hoffman. Hoffman would allow 4 earned runs in the 2.1 innings that he pitched as he struck out 4 batters. With this loss, Hoffman is now 2-2 as a starting pitcher for Cincinnati. And the only player in their batting lineup to finish with more than 1 hit, or to finish with 1 hit in total, or he was the only player with more than 1 hit and he had 2 of them, was Tucker Barnhart. He went 2 for 3 on the day. And then for the Chicago White Sox, the win would go to their starting pitcher, Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease would allow no earned runs and only 1 hit in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 11 batters on the day. With this win, Dylan Cease is now 2-0 as a starting pitcher for Chicago. In their batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Tim Anderson, will go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Their second baseman, Nick Madrigal, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs for himself. Their third baseman, Yohan Moncada, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their elite first baseman, reigning American League MVP, Jose Abreu, will go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. And then their pitcher, Dylan Cease, as a hitter, after throwing 11 strikeouts and only allowing 1 hit, as a pitcher he would go 3 for 3 as a batter with a run on the day. Amazing game for him. And with this win, the Chicago White Sox are now 16-12. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are now 13-15. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Marlins hosted the Arizona Diamondbacks and were able to pull off a 9-3 win after scoring 6 of their runs in the 8th inning. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, the start would end up going to Riley Smith. Smith would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4 batters on the day. The loss would come in relief to Kevin Ginkel. Kevin Ginkel would go on to allow 1 earned run, 3 total runs in the .1 inning that he pitched, as he was only able to strike out 1 batter. That was the only batter he was able to get out. With this loss, Ginkel is now 0-1 as a relief pitcher for Arizona. In their batting lineup, their third baseman, Asdrubal Cabrera, would end up going 3 for 5 as he struck out. And then their second baseman, Eduardo Escobar, would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI on the day. For Miami, the start would go to Sandy Alcantara, who would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6 batters on the day. The win would come to their relief pitcher, Richard Blyer. Blyer would allow no earned runs in the 1 inning that he pitched as he struck out all 3 of his batters. He is now 2-0 with this relief win. In their lineup, their shortstop, Miggy Rojas, would end up going 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run. And then their center fielder, who in this matchup was Lewis Brinson, would end up going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run, as Brinson hit his first home run of the season for Miami. With this win, the Miami Marlins are now 12-16. With this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 15-14. Jumping out to Washington, D.C., the Washington Nationals hosted the Atlanta Braves, and the Braves would beat the Nationals 6-1 to pick up their 13th win of the season. For the Washington Nationals, the loss and the start would go to Joe Ross. Ross would allow 2 earned runs in the 5.1 innings that he pitched as he struck out 3 batters on the day. With this loss, he is now 2-2 on the season. In their batting lineup, their shortstop, Trey Turner, would go 2 for 3 as he was able to walk. He was the only player on the team who had more than 1 hit. And then for the Atlanta Braves, the start and the win would go to Huascar Ynoa, who would allow no earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 4 batters on the day. As a batter, he would end up going 1 for 3 with 4 RBIs and a run as he would hit his second home run of the season and his first grand slam of his career. Also, in addition to him in their batting lineup, their elite right fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run, hitting his 10th home run of the season, of course, leading the major leagues. And then their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, will go 2 for 3 with a run for himself. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 13-16, and with this loss, the Washington Nationals are now 12-13 on the season. Jumping out to Yankee Stadium, the New York Yankees hosted the Houston Astros, and they were able to pull off a 7-3 win as they were able to score 4 of their runs in the 6th inning to break their tie and eventually take over and pull off a very big win at home. For the Houston Astros, the start will go to Zach Greinke. Greinke would allow 3 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4 batters on the day. The loss would come in relief to their first relief pitcher, who in this game would be Brandon Belock. Belock would allow 2 earned runs in the 1.2 inning that he pitched. As with this loss, he is now 1-1 on the season for the Astros as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, their elite third baseman, Alex Bregman, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 5th home run of the season. Their designated hitter, Yordan Alvarez, will go 2 for 4 with a run. And then their first baseman, Yuli Gurriel, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI for himself. For the New York Yankees, the start would end up going to Domingo Germán. Germán would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 6 batters on the day. The win will come to their first relief pitcher, Lucas Lueca. Sorry if I butchered the name, Luca. As Luca would allow no earned runs in the 1 inning that he pitched, as he's now 2-0 on the season as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, their elite first baseman, DJ LeMahieu, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. And then their elite designated hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, would go 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run, as LeMahieu and Stanton were the only two players who had more than one hit on the day for the Yankees. With this win, the Yankees are now 15-14, and with this loss, the Houston Astros are also 15-14. Jumping out to Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Phillies would host the Milwaukee Brewers and pull off a 6-5 win, as Aaron Nola picked up his third win of the season. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start and the loss would end up going to Eric Lauer. In this matchup, Eric Lauer would end up pitching 6 innings as he allowed 2 earned runs, striking out 7 on the day. With this loss, Eric Lauer is 1-1 as the starting pitcher for the Brewers. In their lineup, their second baseman, Colton Wong, will go 2 for 4 with 2 runs on the day. Their first baseman, Daniel Vogelbach, will go 2 for 3 with an RBI. Their third baseman, Travis Shaw, will go 2 for 4 for himself. And then for Philadelphia, the start and the win would go to Aaron Nola. Nola would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 10 batters on the day. With this win, he is 3-1 as the starting pitcher. The save would end up going to Sam Coonrod. This would be his second save of the season as he allowed no earned runs in the 1.2 inning that he pitched. In their batting lineup, their left fielder, former National League MVP Andrew McCutchen, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his third and fourth home run of the season yesterday. He was the only player on the Phillies who had more than 1 hit, and he had 2 home runs with his 2 hits. With this win, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 15-15. With this loss, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 17-13. Jumping out to Boston, the Boston Red Sox hosted the Detroit Tigers and were able to pull off an 11-7 win as they were able to give Pivetta his 4th win of the season. For Detroit, the start and the loss would go to Michael Fulmer. Fulmer would allow 2 earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he was unable to get a strikeout. With this loss, Fulmer is 1-2 as a starting pitcher for the Tigers this season. In their batting lineup, they had 2 players who had 3 hits. Their left fielder, Robbie Grossman, would go 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs on the day. And then their right fielder, Victor Reyes, would end up going 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs for himself. For the Boston Red Sox, the start and the win would end up going to Nick Pivetta. Pivetta would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 8 batters. With this win, Nick Pivetta is 4-0. And then the save would end up going to Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes is 7th of the season. In the Red Sox lineup, their left fielder, Alex Verdugo, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 4th home run of the season. Their elite designated hitter, JD Martinez, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs. He had a pretty good game for himself. Their shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 6th home run of the season. Their catcher, Christian Vasquez, would end up going 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run for himself. And then their right fielder, Hunter Renfroe, would end up going 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as Renfroe hit his 3rd home run of the season. With this win, the Boston Red Sox are now 18-12, and with this loss, the Detroit Tigers are now 8-22. Jumping out to Minneapolis, the Minnesota Twins hosted the Texas Rangers, and the Rangers were able to beat the Twins 6-3. Coming into the 9th inning, the Twins were up 3-1. The Texas Rangers would tie it up at 3 in the 9th inning to send it into extras, and then they would score 3 in extras to pick up a very big win. For the Twins, the start will go to J.A. Happ, as Happ would allow 1 earned run in the 5.1 innings that he pitched as he struck out 3 batters. However, the loss would end up going to their relief pitcher, Brandon Waddell. Waddell would allow 2 earned runs in the .2 innings that he pitched. With this loss, he's 0-1 on the season. And then in their lineup, the only player on the team who had more than 1 hit was their catcher, Mitch Garver. And then for the Texas Rangers, the start would go to Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson would allow 3 earned runs in 8 innings pitched as he struck out 8 batters on the day. The win would go to their first relief pitcher, Joely Rodriguez. Rodriguez would allow no earned runs as he struck out 2 batters in the 1 inning that he pitched. He is now 1-1 as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Adolis Garcia would go 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he would hit his 7th home run of the season. And then their third baseman, Charlie Culberson, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Texas Rangers are now 14-17, and with this loss, the Minnesota Twins are now 11-17. Jumping out to Kansas City, the Royals hosted the Cleveland Indians, and the Indians were able to pull off a 7-3 win. The Royals were up 3-0 at the end of the fifth inning, but the Indians would tie it up at 3 in the sixth, and then break it open in the seventh, or break it open in the eighth by jumping up 7-3. For the Kansas City Royals in this matchup, the start would go to Mike Minor. Minor would allow 3 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3 batters on the day. However, the loss would go to their relief pitcher, Josh Staumont. Staumont would allow 3 earned runs in 0.2 innings pitched as he struck out 2 batters on the day. With this loss, Staumont is 0-1 as a relief pitcher, and in their batting lineup, their left fielder, Andrew Benintendi, would go 2 for 5. Their elite catcher, Salvador Perez, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run for himself as Salvador Perez hit his 7th home run of the season. The right fielder, Hunter Dozier, would go 2 for 3 with a run. And then their center fielder, Michael Taylor, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI for himself. For the Cleveland Indians, the start would go to Phil Matone, but he would only pitch 1.1 inning as he struck out 3 batters. The win would go to their 4th relief pitcher, Nick Whitgren, or their 3rd relief pitcher, Whitgren, who would allow no earned runs in the inning that he pitched. He's now 1-1 on this season. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Harold Ramirez, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then their right fielder, Josh Naylor, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run for himself. With this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 15-13, and with this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 16-12. Jumping out to Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels hosted the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Rays were able to beat the Angels 8-3, as 7 of their 8 runs came between the 5th and 8th innings. For the Angels in this matchup, the start and the loss would go to Alex Cobb. Alex Cobb would allow no earned runs and 2 total runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 8 batters. With this loss, Cobb is 1-2 on the season. In their batting lineup, their second baseman, David Fletcher, would go 2 for 4 with a run. And then their shortstop, Jose Iglesias, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs on the day. For the Tampa Bay Rays, the start would end up going to Shane McClanahan, who only pitched 4 innings. He would allow no earned runs in those 4 innings as he struck out 5. The win would go to their first relief pitcher, Luis Patino, who would only allow 1 earned run in the 3 innings that he pitched as he struck out 5. With this win, Patino was 1-0 as a relief pitcher. In the Rays batting lineup, their designated hitter, Austin Meadows, would end up going 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 6th and 7th home runs of the season yesterday. Their first baseman, Yandy Diaz, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. And then their designated hitting catcher, Francisco Mejia, will go 2 for 2. And with this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 16-15 on the season. With this loss, the Los Angeles Angels are now 13-15. Jumping out to Oakland, the Oakland Athletics were able to beat the Toronto Blue Jays 4-1 as all 4 of their runs came in the 2nd inning off of a 2-run double from Jed Lowry and a 2-run home run from Mitch Moreland. For the Toronto Blue Jays, the start and the loss would go to Anthony Kay. Anthony Kay would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4 batters. With this loss, Kay is 0-2 as a starting pitcher for the Blue Jays this year. And thus far, and yesterday, nobody on the team was able to log more than 1 hit as they were only held to 3 hits as a team. And of course, that can be chalked to the start and the win from Cole Irvin from Oakland. Cole Irvin would allow only 1 earned run in 8 innings pitched as he struck out 9 batters on the day. And the save would be given to Yusamiro Petit. That would be his first save of the season. With this win, Cole Irvin is now 3-3 as a starting pitcher, and the only player on their team who had more than 1 hit was their second baseman, Jed Lowry, who went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Oakland Athletics are now 19-12, and with this loss, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 14-14. Jumping out to San Diego, the San Diego Padres hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Pirates were able to beat the Padres 2-1 as they were able to pick up their 13th win of the season. For the San Diego Padres, the start would end up being given to Dinelson Lamet. Lamet would allow no earned runs in the 2 innings that he pitched. The loss would go to their first relief pitcher, who was Ryan Weathers. Weathers would allow one earned run in 3 innings pitched as he struck out one. With this loss, Weathers is 1-1 on the season. Nobody on the Astros was able to log more than one hit on the team. And for Pittsburgh, the win would be given to Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller would allow no earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5 batters on the day. With his win, he is 2-3 on the season. Their center fielder, Brian Reynolds, would go 2-for-4 with an RBI, and then their first baseman, Colin Moran, would go 2-for-4 himself. With this win, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 13-16, and with this loss, the San Diego Padres are now 17-14. Jumping out to Seattle, last but not least, the Seattle Mariners hosted the Baltimore Orioles and were able to pull off a 5-2 win after 4 of their runs came in the 8th inning. For the Baltimore Orioles, the start would go to Jorge Lopez. Jorge Lopez would go on to allow 1 earned run in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. And then in relief, the loss would end up going to Travis Lincoln Sr. Lincolns would go on to allow only 3 earned runs, and he was unable to log a single out. And in their batting lineup, their first baseman, Trey Mancini, was the only player who had more than 1 hit. He went 3-for-5 with an RBI. For the Seattle Mariners, their starting pitcher was Justin Dunn. Justin Dunn would allow only 1 earned run in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6 batters on the day. The win would come in relief to Rafael Montero. Montero would allow no earned runs in 1 innings pitched as he went 3-for-1 in relief. In their batting lineup, their catcher, who in this matchup was Luis Torrens, would go 2-for-4. And then their left fielder, Sam Haggerty, would go 2-for-3 with a run on the day. With this win, the Seattle Mariners are now 17-14, and with this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 14-16. That is currently what baseball is looking like following yesterday's matchups. And then really quickly, just to take a glance out to what's going on in the world of soccer as we are starting to transition into the later stages of these these champion stage rounds. And the second leg of second leg matchup of the UEFA Champions League semifinal matchup, Manchester City hosted PSG and was able to win 2-0 to beat PSG 4-1 on aggregate. So Manchester City, they were the first team to advance to the Champions League semifinal today. And of course, we have to wait to see how everything's going to match up tomorrow between Chelsea and Real Madrid. But with that said, that is virtually everything going on. And once all of today's matchups are finished, I will come back to you tomorrow on Thursday, May 6th, 2021 with another episode of The Elite. Thank you once again for listening to this episode. I hope all is well, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace out.